Says the theft, the kickbacks, and the shell companies set up to not only launder money but also funnel it, at least $1 million HOA dollars from the hammocks, allegedly at the hands of its board members and relatives. Well, they say it all spanned years.
18,400 residents are the true victims of the alleged thefts that were uncovered during our investigation.
Sorry, but the 18,000 owners are not the victims. It's the homeowner's responsibility to ensure that board members are acting honestly and responsibly. Trust is an important aspect of maintaining an effective homeowners association, or HOA. While it's not necessarily the sole responsibility of homeowners to oversee the board, their active participation and involvement in the HOA can greatly contribute to the accountability and transparency of the board's actions. Here are a few reasons why homeowners should be engaged. 1. Representation. Board members are often elected from among the homeowners. By participating in the election process and serving on the board, homeowners can have a say in the decision-making process and ensure that the board represents their interests. 2. Oversight. Homeowners have a vested interest in the proper management of their community and the protection of their investment. By staying informed about the board's activities, attending meetings, and reviewing financial statements, homeowners can help identify any potential improprieties or red flags. 3. Checks and balances. Homeowners serve as a check and balance to the actions of the board. Their active involvement helps prevent abuses of power or fraudulent activities by ensuring that decisions are made transparently and in accordance with the governing documents and applicable laws. 4. Communication. Homeowners can act as a bridge between the board and the larger community. By participating in the HOA, they can foster open lines of communication, encourage transparency, and hold the board accountable for their actions. 5. Legal obligations. Homeowners are bound by the HOA's governing documents, which typically outline their rights and responsibilities. By actively participating, homeowners can help ensure that the board adheres to these obligations and operates within the confines of the law.
Why aren't they being transparent with it? Why aren't they out in front of this mess?
A Southern Utah HOA just now discovering hundreds of thousands of dollars gone.
Do you think Lava Bluff HOA will ever get the money back? Now homeowners say they have proof. The former HOA treasurer embezzled the cash from seniors.
There is a cold place in hell for people who harm the elderly.
This has been happening for almost 8 years.
I trust everybody until they give me a reason not to.
Fox 13 investigative reporter Adam Herbets followed the money and found out what homeowners need to do to protect themselves.
This is our financial report. It's wrong.
Do not let the binders of paperwork, the color-coded spreadsheets, or the math fool you.
Month after month, year after year, I got 4 of them.
Tim Mullican is the first to admit he is not an accountant.
That is a misconception. You do not need to be a CPA to provide financial oversight. Board members, including treasurers, have a fiduciary duty to act in the best interests of the Homeowners Association or HOA, and they should have a basic understanding of financial statements, budgets, and financial controls like vendor selection, which a lot of laundering and fraud comes from. When selecting vendors, you should ensure that reputable vendors are chosen by conducting thorough due diligence. This includes obtaining multiple bids or quotes, checking references, and verifying the vendor's credentials and reputation. It's important to avoid conflicts of interest and ensure that vendor selection is based on objective criteria.
This one. What about this one?
He's simply a homeowner in Hurricane who has been asking legitimate questions about his HOA finances for years.
Honestly, I was just kind of told that I didn't know what I was talking about. You know, I'm not a whiz or anything, but if you look at it...
It's addition and subtraction.
Correct. Just quick math, you can tell how much money was supposed to be coming in.
The Lava Bluff HOA calls itself a planned community.
You know, we came here because it was a 55-plus community, fell in love with it, and we decided to move here.
But nobody planned for what happened to the money. Tim started realizing it was missing in 2018, but says he could never get answers from the HOA board. If at any point someone gave you a legitimate explanation, you probably would have dropped it, right?
Yes, sir. I was stunned.
I had suspicions. I didn't have proof like Tim has now, but I had suspicions that something was going on with the money.
My wife worked for a bank before, so it sounded really fishy to me. She not only took the money from the HOA fund, but she stole from every one of us seniors here.
At first, nobody thought the money was being stolen.
We said, well, where's branch 0058?
But Tim started noticing some of his checks for HOA dues were being cashed more than 50 miles away.
Kudos to you, sir. It eventually happens. It just takes far too long in most cases like these. This took 8 years and they still do not have justice.
For HOA dues were being cashed more than 50 miles away, next to casinos in Mesquite, Nevada. After years of questions about the community's finances, homeowners say the HOA treasurer never provided an explanation.
Is she home?
Then, in February, she stopped showing up to HOA meetings.
Of course she did, but it should have been due to making license plates in the penitentiary for real. Once you start questioning rogue board members, they will either fight or flight. The first case, the board members were bold and actually suing people who accused them of stealing. The nerve of them. In this case, she just stopped showing her face.
Oh, she had a gambling addiction.
How do you know that?
She confessed. And since then, I haven't seen her. I have not seen her since.
Brian Fast took over as HOA treasurer, and the board placed a lien on the former treasurer's house, which is now for sale. He says she admitted to stealing $159,000, but he was not very confident that number was accurate.
That was a piece of paper she handed us, said, I think this is how much I took.
So the only way to accumulate that much debt would be to not pay your dues for more than 22 years.
Yes.
When we tried to speak with her,
I just wanted to give you the opportunity to address.
she hung up. According to a forensic audit conducted by a CPA firm in St. George, they believe she transferred nearly $250,000 into her personal and gambling accounts.
So that year there's more than $49,000 unaccounted for.
Yes.
At first, I was bewildered. Then I was sad. I was really sad for her.
I'm just very disappointed in her. I wouldn't have imagined that she would do something like this.
And this is why it should be considered elderly abuse. The compassion they have for her after she allegedly stole close to $250,000 is insane. We must fight back against people like this and stop blaming the homeowners associations.
Lincoln PD sent us a copy of its police report, which shows they stopped investigating because the HOA president chose not to press charges at the time.
No, I think that's definitely wrong, but that's my opinion.
Some homeowners have tried to replace members of the HOA board for failing to act sooner and holding private meetings away from the homeowners. The president and vice president have since stepped down, and the new president has given police the green light to continue their investigation. Meanwhile, the community is staying ahead of its bills for now, but does not have enough money for important projects like fixing roads.
All the money in the savings account is gone. All the money in the reserve account is gone.
Did she do wrong? Absolutely. Should she be punished for that? Absolutely. Will she go to jail? That's not for me to decide.
Failing to seek justice for a board member who is stealing money, even if they happen to be a friend, is a problematic approach for several reasons. 1. Upholding the law, all individuals, regardless of their personal relationships, should be held accountable for their actions. Turning a blind eye to theft or fraudulent behavior undermines the principles of justice and the rule of law. It sets a dangerous precedent that suggests some individuals are above the law and can escape consequences based on personal connections. 2. Betrayal of trust. By stealing money from the association, the board member is betraying the trust placed in them by the community. They have a fiduciary duty to act in the best interests of the homeowners, and their actions violate that obligation. Failing to seek justice for this betrayal not only allows the board member to continue their illicit behavior but also erodes trust within the community. 3. Financial impact on homeowners. When a board member steals money, it directly affects the financial well-being of the homeowners. Funds that should be allocated toward community maintenance, repairs, or improvements are diverted for personal gain. By taking action and seeking justice, homeowners can help protect their own interests and ensure that their assessments are used appropriately for the benefit of the community. 4. Maintaining ethical standards. All community members, including board members, should adhere to ethical standards and principles. By allowing a friend to get away with stealing, homeowners risk compromising their own ethical integrity and the integrity of the community as a whole. Upholding ethical standards is essential for fostering a healthy and trustworthy community environment. 5. Preventing future misconduct. By holding the board member accountable for their actions, homeowners can deter future instances of theft or misconduct. Taking a stand against wrongdoing sends a clear message that such behavior will not be tolerated within the community. It helps protect the community's resources and ensures that future board members understand the consequences of breaching their fiduciary duties. It's important to remember that seeking justice doesn't necessarily mean severing personal relationships. It means advocating for the truth, fairness, and the well-being of the community. Reporting the theft to the appropriate authorities and supporting a thorough investigation are crucial steps toward rectifying the situation and preserving the integrity of the homeowners association. This has been the HOA Whisperer's point of view on these unfortunate cases. Stay tuned for more tips and tricks on how to successfully run a community or what to look for as a homeowner. Please like, share and subscribe if you want to stay up to date on the goings-on in the HOA world. Meeting adjourned.